Hi everyone, this is Vidya, Assistant Professor from CSE Department, MLR IT. So, the subject I am going to teach you all is operating system, which comes on 3.1 and 3.2, depends upon this semester syllabus. It may come in 3.1 or 3.2. So, we are going to see operating system overview. So, the topics what I am going to discuss today is that introduction to operating system, why we need to learn operating system operations, process management, memory management, storage management, protection and security. So, the last four, process management, memory management, storage management, protection and security, comes under functions of OS. So, now we will go for the introduction of the operating system. Before going to the introduction to the operating system, we will just see what is an operating system definition. An operating system is an interface between a computer user and a computer hardware and controls all the executions of the program. So, here what my operating system is doing, my operating system is acting as an interface between the hardware and the user applications. So, just come to the real time example. So, here we are going to have some hardware components like keyboard, mouse, printer, monitor, so on. So, all these my hardware components should work collectively, means I need an operating system where it should install all these drivers in this, then only my user can work with the applications. So, example, a real-time example, if I want to take a printout, let us see how this printout is going to work. So, here my hardware is nothing but a printer. So, what my OS is going to do? So, my OS is going to install all the printer drivers, and next my application software, something I have here, my MS Word. So, that particular MS Word file printout has been taken and given to the user. So, here to work this hardware and to take a printout from this MS Word, my OS is going to act as an interface and give to the user. This is how my hardwares are going to work and gives the software to and gives to the computer user. So, nothing but my operating system acts as a bridge between the software and the hardware components. So, again coming to the software, we have two types, nothing but we have application software and next system software. So, under system, all these compilers, interpreters, all these are going to come under editors. All these are comes under the system software. Next, coming to my application software, nothing but a text document, a Word file or Excel file. All these are going to come under my application software. So, next we are going to see why we need to learn the operating system. So, one by one let us see why we should learn this operating system. So, initially operating systems graphical user interface and a form of menus, icons and buttons. So, initially when I on my system, so all my Word files or Excel files, anything if I want to see, I am going to see through my menu and some icons and through buttons. These are just provided by the graphical user interface. So, the foremost thing what my operating system is going to do, if I want to see any file in my system, so my OS is going to provide through the graphical user interface. Next, operating system manages input and output. All the IO devices are managed by the OS. So, we know that a system means we are going to have all input devices and output devices. So, if my IO devices should work, means my OS is going to manage all this input and output devices. Nothing but all the printers is an output device and input device, something I am giving through my keyboard. So, my keyboard, and if my keyboard to activate or my printer to activate, so my both input and output devices should work, means my OS system is going to manage. Next, operating system converts a program into the process. So initially if I have a program in my system, so once the executable file is going under the execution, so initially the program is said to be sit idly, but once it is under the execution, then it is converted into the process. So who is converting? So the operating system converts the program to process. Next, operating system manages the interrupts and handle the interrupts. So here, if I'm doing something, if I'm listening to an audio track, but I have got an interrupt by other process. So all these interrupts can be handled by the operating system. Operating system is a user-friendly interface. We all know that. So Windows is there. Windows is one operating system which can be understood by every layman. So by seeing it, we know that Windows, we have different icons. I have something audio file. I have a Word file. I have an Excel file. By seeing that, I can easily operate. So it is nothing but my OS is a user-friendly. Next. No required any technical skills for the operating system GUIs. So already I have told you that GUI nothing but initially only I have told that. So all the menus or icons or buttons, it has been visualized. So for this we no need any technical skill. So example, if I want to take some Excel data, some attendance data, I want to take some Excel sheet. So by initially I am going on I am just owning my system. In that I have kept something in my D drive. I have kept something third year A section attendance. It is easy for me to take it. By seeing itself, I can just operate it. For this, I do not need any technical skills or anything. Next, operating system is responsible for distributing the data overall the system. So here what my operating system is doing, so it distributes all the data towards my complete system. So here if I want to activate my audio file, or if I want to work with my Excel file, or if I want to see my video, so all these activities are done. So all these activities, who is going to take care? My operating system is responsible to work one after the other. Operating systems allow to share the piece of the data to many users. So my operating system, so if I'm working on with one process, so it can share, it can be given to the many users. So who is going to see that? By operating system is going to share all the data with the other users also. Next, operating system can be updated time to time without any hassle. So initially we have operating system, initially we have something Windows XP, later on 7, next 8, 10. So all these operating systems have been come. So one after the other, it has been updated without any problem. So these are the operations. So these are the needs why we have to learn the operating system. So next we are going for the operations, operating system operations. So here we have two operations, dual mode operations, nothing but user mode and kernel mode. So let us see what is this user mode. When the computer system is run by the user applications, like creating a text document or using any application program, then the system is said to be in the user mode. So initially if I am working with some text document or some Excel sheet, so the user is said to be in the user mode. Okay, so next coming to the kernel mode. So all the bottom level tasks of the operating system by the kernel mode. So let us see what are those bottom tasks in this kernel mode. So if it is working with something memory management or IO management or scheduling the processes, all this comes under kernel mode. So applications, if the user is said to be using something Excel sheet or working with a Word document, then the user is said to be in the user mode. When it is said to be in a kernel mode, if the kernel mode is activating my CPU scheduling algorithms or with the allocating the memory or organizing this IO devices, then the system is said to be in the kernel mode. So these are the dual modes what we have in our OS. So next we are going to the functions of the OS. So the first one we are going to see is the process management. So initially we are just going to see the definitions. What is this process management, memory management? So again it going to come as something like unit 2 process management, memory management, unit 3. So this is how we are going to allocate. So we'll see. So what is this process management? So initially the program does nothing unless it gives an instruction to be executed by the CPU. So initially my program will do nothing. So example, I have saved somewhere a C program. I have saved. So until my CPU tells to go for the execution, I will do nothing with that particular program. So once the program is said to be under execution, then the program has been converted to the process. The program is in execution is called nothing but a process. A program, initially what we have, it is a program. So once the CPU gives for the execution only, it will convert into the process. In order to accomplish its task, process needs the computer resources. So to do a particular task, the processes needs the resources. So then only the processes can be activated. So what are the activities the process management is going to do? Let us see. Scheduling the processes and threads on this CPU. So each and every process is said to be scheduled. So example, we have a different classes. So each faculty have been sent to the particular class. So example, the class is something 9:30 to 10:30. So that faculty have to stay in that particular class for 1 hour. In the same way, so I am having something P1 and P2. So for each one I have given a resource. So that particular process have to be, it should be worked in that particular time. Example, from 9:45 to 10:45. That process should utilize that particular resource. So it will be scheduling the process. Next, creating and deleting both the user and system process. So here we are going to create a process and delete a process. Next, suspend and resume the process. In the same way, we can suspend the process. Again, if I want, I can reuse that process also. Next, providing the mechanisms of process synchronization. So all the process have to be synchronized one after the other, should work collectively. Then only the process are said to be in a synchronized manner. Next, providing mechanisms for the process communication. So each one have to communicate. So P1 have to communicate with P2 or P2 have to communicate with the P3. Then only the process are said to be in a communication. So these are the activities what we are going to see in the process management. In depth in the unit 2, we are going to see what are the process states and how it is going to go from one state to the other in my unit 2 lecture. So next, coming to the memory management. So here we are going to see how the memory is going to allocated for each and every process. So the first, memory management is a process of coordinating and controlling the memory in the computer. So in a system we are going to have a memory. So what my memory management is going to look after, how that memory has been utilized. So how it is being allocated to the each and every process it is going to take care. Blocks of memory are assigned to the various running programs in order to optimize overall performance of the system. So the memory is given to the programs and how that memory is being utilized we are going to see. Then only how properly my memory is utilized. Then only I can tell the performance of the system. This technique helps in keeping track of each and every memory location, whether memory location is allocated some process or it has been free. So here what it is happening, for each and every process I am going to get the memory. So after that memory has been utilized, I am going to just delete it so that my memory location will be free and it can be utilized by the other process. So that I should keep the track of the memory, how the memory has been allocated, how the memory is being utilized, and again how it has been free. So this is very important in the memory management. This technique decides which process will get memory in what time. So even I should keep track in which, if the process has been not allocated with the memory, so at what time the memory is being allocated to that particular process also should be taken into the accountability. It also keeps the count of how much memory is being allocated to the process. So for the each process, how many bits of memory I am allocating is also very important. So what are the main steps we are going to discuss in the memory management? So how much memory I have, how much memory I am allocating to the each and every process, after allocating the memory whether it has been stored properly or not, and after that deleting whether the memory has taken free or not, so it can be utilized by the other process or not. So all these 5 steps are very important in the memory management. Next, coming to the protection and security. So the data or the system what we are having, everything should need protection and security. Protection and security requires that computer resources such as CPU, softwares, memories are protected. So my CPUs and what softwares I have developed, all these memories have been protected or not are very, very important. This extends to the operating system as well as data in the system. Not only to my operating system, the data which has been stored in my system is also very important, whether the data has been stored properly or not. This can ensure the integrity and confidentiality and availability in the operating system. So once only my data has been properly stored or properly protected, then only that confidentiality of the data can be maintained and the availability of the data will be there. If someone is hacking my data or someone is utilizing, then where is the confidentiality and where is the availability of that particular data? So all this should be taken care by the protection and security. Otherwise the system will be hacked. So therefore the system should be protected against unauthorized access, virus and worms. So this is very, very important for my operating system to provide the protection and security. So coming to the summary, so what are the topics we have discussed? So we have discussed the definition of OS initially. Next, what is the need of the OS? Operations of OS. In that only we have discussed user mode and kernel mode. Next, the functions of OS, nothing but process management, memory management, protection and security. So these are the topics what we have discussed. So for the next coming, we are going to see in depth what is this process management, what is this memory management, and how protection and security is given in the OS. So if any doubts, you can just give me in my comment section. So I hope you people have liked my lecture. So please like my video and subscribe. Thank you.